Okay, what's up? What's up, tribe? Code of Confidence tribe. Listen, I'm excited that you guys have been tuning in. If you don't know, I am Des Inspired, the empowerment juggernaut, the confidence queen, and we are here for our sacred safe space where we have candid, encouraging, and sometimes uncomfortable conversations about confidence. If you have not already subscribed, baby, hit that button, okay? I want to welcome you to the Code of Confidence podcast with myself. Give yourself a round of applause for that. And so, listen, these are one of those uncomfortable conversations that, baby, I've been putting off having. And I actually said I was not going to have it. This is something I was going to just take with me, just, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I ain't finna share this. This is all me. But, gosh, I'm hot. Okay, so in this episode, I want to talk about our confidence in relationship to our faith, right? Our confidence in faith. You can see I'm repping the Purpose Girls Pray hoodie, which you can get on my website, desinspire.com, or click the link if you're online and get you your Purpose Girls Pray hoodie. So listen, those of you who know or don't know, I'm a woman of faith, right? I believe in Jesus Christ, Son of the one and only true living God. I don't impose that or impress that on anybody else, but this episode specifically is about my faith journey and my confidence in God and his ability to do what he says he's going to do. And the way my confidence has been built up has been through a recent experience. Very recent experience that I had. So at the time that I'm recording this, I don't even know what day or month that I am releasing this because I've been trying to put it off. But I celebrated 30 years of life recently this year, right? I call this my Jesus year because Jesus started, really working his public miracles at the age of 30. So life just began for him. And so I really believe that about myself, my business, my ministry, that life is just beginning. Now, baby, I was excited about this 31. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? 30 was supposed to be, that was my year, right? And so I had a trip planned. Those of you who follow me know that I went to Mexico for the birthday, okay? We turned up in Mexico for my birthday. Listen, originally I wanted to go to Paris, but I tried to get those tickets like early on and they canceled that flight. So closer to, got a trip booked to Mexico. Like super excited about this. I'm like, I'm going to just have fun, lay out on the waters, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. And so I was super excited for this trip. I was turning 30. I literally took the trip on my birthday, right? Turning 30, right? I called it my journey to 30. But can I be honest about what really happened when I turned 30? Like, I don't know if y'all ready for this, but can I really be honest about that journey and how turning 30 challenged me and challenged my faith in so many ways? Like, okay, so here we go. Prior to leaving for Mexico on my birthday, I was at another event or whatever. And the virus is still going around. So I'm simply very safe. Like, I take my vitamins, I wear my mask. Even if I have to be in environments with people, I try to do the best of my ability to stay safe. I'm not one of those people who are afraid of it. I've never been afraid of it. I've always believed God. And my faith was, it can't touch me. Like, it can't live in my body. Like, it can't touch my body. Like, that's always been my outlook on it. That's always my faith. Doesn't mean that I didn't wear a mask. And I was just like, no. But that was just where my faith is. I didn't fear it. It's been horrible. And I know people who have unfortunately died from it. But I just believe that, God's gonna keep me. He's a keeper. Oh, yes, he is, as the church mother used to say. And so, I'm good. Like, I'm not afraid of it. And so I was leaving. I left the events or whatever that weekend. And when I came back home, well, that morning I had to leave. And I didn't feel well. I'll tell you that. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like, I couldn't explain it, but it was nothing bad. Like, it was nothing that I couldn't handle or was used to, nothing out of the ordinary. It was for ladies, sometimes, certain times our bodies feel certain ways and do certain things. So I figured, boom, that explains it. Clearly, it's just just being a queen, just being a woman. So I thought nothing of it. And I just know though, when I took my flight to Mexico, I still just didn't feel better. And I'm just like, I'm probably tired. I'm drained. I've been going, I didn't eat the best while I was gone for those few days. So I'm like, this is just me paying for not really eating right. So get to Mexico, baby. It's top notch. You hear me? The resort I stayed at was just, everything was there. Like, I didn't have to leave to go anywhere. I did want to go to this place called the Jungle Gym, like in Tulum. That was like my goal to go there. But besides that, everything that I needed was literally right there at my resort. And so I'm excited. I'm, not feeling 100, but I'm like, baby, we waited a long time for this one. We're gonna live it up, okay? You hear me? So this is on my birthday. Like, I'm literally traveling on my birthday to Mexico. Long flight, super tired, not feeling well, the best anyway. So I just, kind of chill a little bit, right? Go out to eat. And I'm just feeling like, at this point now, baby, another reason I was excited for Mexico, because the outfits was A1, baby. I got like some really nice with something like with the splits and got the, I was getting some photo shoots in. You hear me? I'm doing a whole, y'all know I'm a content creator. I love creating content. So in my mind, I'm still thinking, okay, I'm gonna do a video in this. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna do this on the water. Like, I had it planned in my mind. I had outfits galore, bought specialty outfits for this trip. You hear me? Specialty outfits. So on my birthday, I wore this little nice black 2-piece, you know what I'm saying? Nice little, got the abs going because, your girl been working out. I did a journey to 30, fitness challenge with my community, trying to get the abs right, get it tight, you know what I'm saying? I'm using my glute bands at, Empower Fit Lifestyle. Check us out, empowerfitlifestyle.com. So, I had my animal print, glute bands, booty bands, I was right, you know what I'm saying? So went out to eat that night or whatever. Couldn't really eat that much. That particular restaurant didn't really have what I wanted, but I was like, cool, whatever. At this point now, I'm burning up. Like, at this point, just feel like I got a fever, but I'm cold, right? I'm cold. My body is hot, but I am physically cold. So a couple of days, I'm still pushing though. So I'm like, I'm not finna mess up this trip. I don't care what happens. I'm not messing this trip up. I have waited to turn 30. I have waited to have this moment in Tulum. You hear me? Nothing can stop me all the way up. You know what I'm saying? So those were the vibes. I was going to push through. I'm a trooper. Baby, by that next day, I was bent over on the ground and then I had a nice little place. I can't even explain I had a private pool for my room. Like, you go outside, I had an entire private pool, right? So listen, I'm living la vida loca. You hear me? But I was living it on the ground. Like, I had a towel. It was in like my room and I am bent over, like cramping, pain all in my body. And I'm like, at this point, it's just the monthly thing. It gotta be it. Like, that's it. It's just the monthly thing. So I'm just like, this gotta go. Cause like, I'm destined to be here for a good week. Like, the setup was like, I'm supposed to be here for a minute. I got more days to work in. You know what I'm saying? I got to get it together. But I'm crying, and I'm not a crier. I'm not the easiest person to cry. My tolerance for pain is crazy. Y'all know I got tattoos galore. The pain tolerance, nothing. But this right here, baby, I couldn't take it. I don't have children, but I say, if childbirth is anything like this, I may never have children, because the pain was excruciating. Not to mention, I'm feeling sick to the stomach. I can't use the restroom. Like, I can't have a bowel movement. And I'm like, what is going on at this point? Like, I can't figure it out. Right. I'm like, I'm a pretty healthy person. I eat right. I exercise regularly. Like, I do all the necessary things to make sure I'm healthy. So I'm like, at this point, God, what's going on? Like, what is going on? Why do I feel so horrible? And why does it have to be in this moment? Like, could we have done this after 30, after the Mexico festivities, right? So this is how I'm feeling. I'm just horrible. Some friends that were there, so there's a few of us there. They go and get me some, they maybe like some Pepto-Bismol or something. So I'm trying to take my Pepto, trying to enjoy myself. Long story short, for most of the trip, I felt like this. You have to take a COVID test prior to coming back into the States. So my trip is almost over. I haven't went out much. Baby, I ain't got even the outfit saying like I need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the outfits? Can we give it up for the outfits, right? So I'm like, cool, whatever. At this point, I really just want to go home anyway. I'm like, I want to go home because I can't. I want to go home. Little Kevin Hart, I want to go home. That's literally how I felt. But I was like, whatever. So I'm still going out to eat, right? I'm still interacting. My friends are still there. We're still doing some things, right? And so what's funny is, rewind, every morning when I go to breakfast, I'm a buffet style girl. I like a good buffet. You know what I'm saying? A good buffet. So every morning when I would go to this buffet, they would have to take my temperature, right? Temperature was normal. I knew before that I was burning up but felt cold, but on the thermometer, everything's good. Come right in, miss, come right in, come right in. I'm like, thanks. So I'm picking out on the buffet. If I can't do nothing else while I'm here, I'm going to eat. Let's be clear. I may be petite, baby, I can put a lot in. So I thought it was interesting that nothing showed up on the thermometers. So I take my test to be able to return back to the United States of America. And so I'm out eating with a friend. We're just kind of, they email you your results. I'm out eating. I just don't I just want to go home so bad. I feel horrible, right? And so, y'all, this is a good story. It may be long, but this is me unpacking. This is encouraging, candid, and uncomfortable conversations. And so for me to really dive into the confidence piece, even in relationship to your faith, I got to share this because I haven't shared it with many people openly. There may be 2 to 3 people that know this. And so I'm there eating. I feel horrible, right? I went to the beach a couple times, got some content, you know what I'm saying? But at this point, I feel horrible. My friend gets a call and they're like, we need to see you immediately. And I'm like, what? Wonder what that's about. And so then all of a sudden I get an email. And, I'm like, okay, I open the email. It's my results. Lo and behold, the results say positive. Now, normally the word positive is supposed to bring about positivity. You know what I'm saying? Like positive feelings. But this right here was positive for COVID-19. Baby, when I say my life flashed before my eyes, when I say that my life, I started seeing stars. It's like I felt like I blacked out. Like I've ever seen on TV where people like pass out when they get certain news. I'm like, how did they do that? That is how I felt. I literally was about to pass out. My heart was racing. So I get up and I go to the trash can. So at this point, I'm like, I am about to be sick. I stagger to the trash can and I immediately start throwing up. And the crazy thing is, it's still a restaurant. It's like an outdoor restaurant on the beach. So I'm trying to position myself away from people so they don't see me throwing up and vomiting into this trash can. Because at this point, I felt like I've had to throw up, but I couldn't do it. It wouldn't come out. But baby, when I read them test results, I'm not going to get graphic. So I stagger back to my chair or whatever. And I'm just like, how did this happen? Like, I've gone through over a year of this virus and it's never affected me. I've done marches. I've done so much in over a year's time under conditions that probably weren't the best. And I'm like, now it happens at 30 years old when I'm in Mexico. And clearly I've had it for several days now and didn't even know. Mind you, on my birthday, I came to Mexico. I was feeling horrible on my birthday. This is another reason why you can't look at people's social media and think you have their life figured out. You can't look at their highlight reels and feel like they just got it made, like they living the life. Baby, you don't know what people's private journeys are. Like, and for me personally, you never know what I'm dealing with because I'm never going to show that like that. I'm never going to just be completely like, y'all, today this happened, my car got stolen. Like, I'm never just going to pour those things out. Some people are very open and that's fine. But as for me, I'm not that kind of person that really shares my personal life with people. Even people I'm close to, like I keep a lot of things to myself because my objective is just to motivate, encourage. And I don't like to put the burden of what I'm going through on other people. Right. So listen, my communities didn't know, my assistant didn't know, my parents didn't know. I didn't tell anybody at this point what just happened to me. Pause. What's the code for that? How do you respond in times of trouble? What's your first reaction? For me, I just had to pray. I was like, Lord, I don't know what you're doing here. Because at this point, it just don't really make no sense. So I don't really know what you're doing here, but I trust you. What is your confidence in God like in those moments when you've gotten that bad news? You got that bad doctor's report. You got that eviction notice, right? You got that bank account notice. You got that notice from that loved one or friend that's walking out of your life. Like, what do you do in those moments? Where's your confidence at? What's the code for that? What is your internal coding and how do you respond to that? Some of us jump right on social media and like I say, I don't have nothing to get. Do you, boo? Do you? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. But some people, before they even go to God, they go to the girls. They go to the guys. What do you do in times of trouble? What's your coding? What's your default setting? For me, I had nobody but God to trust on. Me telling other people what's that? That's not, in that moment, that wasn't going to help me. I had to go to the source, right? So I get the results. I'm sitting at the table. They're like literally waiting for me to get back to my room. Like the staff, the manager, like we had like little, not bellhops, but like we had butlers. So like each little condominium style thing in the resort had a butler, right? And so the head butler, like the head of all the butlers was like, yeah, we need to talk to you. So in my mind, I'm like, I already know what it's about. So I'm going to take my time going back because at this point, this might be my last time I see daylight. You know what I'm saying? But I had to take control of my thoughts because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Fear really tried to creep in. Like fear tried to say they finna excommunicate you from this resort. You're going to have to go somewhere offshore or somewhere by yourself. Like they finna do this and that. Like the enemy tried to start talking to me. He tried to start talking to me. You're going to end up on a ventilation system. You're going to be in a hospital. Like all of these thoughts tried to come to me. Here's the thing. It's not a sin when the thoughts come, right? It's nothing wrong that the thoughts come. The thoughts are going to come. But you have to make the decision. Am I going to accept them? Am I going to allow these fears to cripple me now? Because had I given into those fears, who knows what would have happened? If I would give into those fears instead of my faith in God, instead of my go-to, if my internal coding, if my code of confidence wasn't go to the source, then that situation could have turned out a lot differently. But in my spirit, I was like, God, I know you gonna see me through this. You've never failed me yet. Like you haven't failed me. And although in my mind and my heart, I'm like, I can't get it. Like that's another thing. That's why I don't give in to the ideas and anyone can believe and do what they want. It's the Code of Confidence podcast over here. So I'm going to share my thoughts and my opinion, but whatever people believe is on them. But I don't like the idea when we try to impose or force things on the people like, oh, it's because of your lack of faith. Oh, it's because you don't believe. That's not always the case, right? Because if anybody knows me, I've got some of the strongest faith there is. Like I believe God for crazy things that people are like, that's a little out of, I don't care. I believe it can happen. So my faith in God, that wasn't a question. It wasn't I feared it. That's why it happened. I didn't believe it. That's why it happened. No, I believed. And my belief was followed up by action. So I took my vitamins. I wore my mask. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get I was traveling, but that's what it is. But my faith was still intact. My confidence in God, it couldn't waver. So I couldn't allow the enemy to play with my mind and tell me all of these things, which is another reason why I didn't just tell anybody. Because the moment you tell people, their natural human nature is to, be sympathetic. But I didn't need that. I didn't need oh my gosh, are you I didn't need any of that. Because the way my faith is set up, I'm all in. It's all or nothing. And anything that doesn't match my level of faith, I don't even come in contact with it. So a lot of times when things happen, I don't reach out to a lot of people. Like I don't just tell people things because the energy that they give, the spirit that they have, they may mean well. But if it doesn't align with my level of faith, I can't have nothing less. It has to match mine or go above. Like it has to match mine or go above. Cause I don't do the pity parts. Like I don't do the, oh my gosh. And I get it. Again, for those who do that and need it, that's cool. But as for me, I know what I need. I know what allows my faith and my confidence to function at a high level. And it's anything that matches mine or goes beyond it. So you got to decide, what's the code for my faith in God? What's my confidence code for where I stand in times of trouble? What's my default setting? What's the coding for me, right? So personally, I didn't share that with anybody. I didn't tell anybody. Gosh, we 20 minutes in and I'm only halfway through the story. But listen, so I didn't share it with anybody in that moment. The individuals that came with me, they knew because they needed to make sure, they were good because we all had to get tested. But outside of that, nobody knew anything yet. Nobody knew anything. And like I wasn't showing up a lot on social media anyway before then, just because I was just taking that time for me. But at this point, I really was like, I can't even get on here right now because it's nothing but messages, comments, and I don't even need nothing distracting me from where I am right now. So try to make long story less long, but I go back to my room. And so immediately there's like these 3 people there and they're like, yeah, we're here to quarantine you basically. So they took me from where I was to a whole nother villa, whole nother building, like further down. And they took me all the way to the top, the very top level of it, right? So I felt like Rapunzel in a castle at this point. They took all my stuff up there. And so they started explaining to me what was going to happen, that I would have to stay there and be quarantined for X amount of days until I could get a negative test result. And so my heart just kind of sank because I'm like, the thing that I have feared most has come upon me. Like, this is insane. Like, never did I ever imagine this is how I will be bringing in the year of our Lord 2020 for age 30. Like, I was just like, okay, Lord, whatever you're doing, can we like speed this up a little bit? So I go there. They stockpiled that room with anything I could ever need. Because mind you, no one can come in and I cannot get out. I can open the door, but I'm not allowed to leave that room. Right. So it was still a nice room. It was plush like my last one. I didn't have the pool, but I had an outdoor tub. So literally there was a tub on the balcony at this top level of this building, right? Overlooking the ocean, overlooking the pool and resorts. So I'm in there. I mean, they've got bottles of water, like, because each room came with a fridge full of stuff. Room service is free. It's part of your package. So you can order food all day long. They deliver it to you. They can bring it to you in your pool or whatever. So they stockpiled me soap, shampoo, food, beverages, like snacks. I mean, even my sheets and towels were all bagged up, right? Because no one's housekeeping's not coming in to help you at this point. You're on your own, sis. Make your own bed, refresh your own towels, clean up. They gave me stuff to clean my little apartment, I guess you call it, with mop, broom, everything. Because sis, you're not leaving. What happens when your paradise becomes your prison? Child, let's I got to give you some noise on that. What happens when your paradise becomes your prison? And now, not just for me, I want you to think about your life. What in your life that you thought would be something like a paradise, whether it was a job, opportunity, a relationship, a friendship, what did you think was a paradise initially felt like it became a prison to you, right? And so I'm in here and I'm like, this is unreal to me at this point. Like at this point, I don't think I've even grasped it. So explain to me about how insurance will work. And now, mind you, I'm at the end of my stay. I'm towards the end of my trip. It's time to go home. I've already had my trip was originally for a week there. So I already, was only planning to be there a week anyway. But this just extended my trip. I just got an extended vacation, if you will. But the good thing is, like, they covered it. Like, I didn't have to pay out of pocket to stay there. They was like, we'll cover it up to this amount of days. We have the insurance for that. Like, we have insurance for you that will cover it, right? And then after that, you're on your own if you haven't gotten a negative test yet. So then now that's going through my mind. Like, oh my gosh, what if I can't get a negative test in this time frame? What's going to happen? Like, how am I going to pay for this? Right? What is my insurance? Like, baby, I had some questions, but I couldn't allow my mind to run away with me. And here's the code. Some of us allow our minds to run away with us. We immediately start thinking the worst. We immediately start thinking ourselves into depression, into suicidal thoughts, into it's not going to work. We do that. We don't take charge of our thoughts and our mind. We don't have that confidence in I can get through this. Because remember, confidence is not just a belief in your skills and your abilities, but your abilities to overcome challenges. That is a part of confidence. So if my confidence wasn't at the point to where I believe that I can overcome this challenge. And the reason why I could believe that and have confidence in it, because of my faith in God. That's what sustained me. Through this entire situation, all I kept saying was, how do people live without God? Now, mind you, I'm not here to press my belief. Oh, if you're listening to this and this is not your belief system, cool. I'm not here to judge that. I'm speaking from me. As for me in my life, I told myself, if I didn't have God, I wouldn't have got through this. How do people live life without God? I don't know, and I don't want to know. If it's working for you, by all means, do you, boo. But baby, I cannot live without God. I cannot not have a faith so strong in someone or something that I believe in that's going to carry me through these difficult times. That's why I can still have the confidence, because it's not in me. It's in the God that lives in me. That's where my confidence is. Y'all, I didn't even tell my parents that this was going on. When we'd have conversations, I told my dad, I was like, yeah, my trip got extended. He was like, extended? I'm like, yeah, they giving us complimentary free days. And he's like, okay. I could tell they knew like something was up, but me, I don't wear my emotions on my sleeves like that. So you don't really know what's up with me. I'ma always, get it done. It don't mean I won't deal with my emotions, because I will, but I'll do that privately. But when it's time to show up, I'm going to show all the way up. So go into it. Somebody texts me a late happy birthday. Like, this was days after my birthday had passed. This has probably been six days or so after my birthday, right? And they're like, and it was late one night, and she was like, oh, just want to tell you happy birthday. You've been a blessing. They like sent me some lunch money. I was like, oh, that's sweet. I didn't think of another. A mighty woman of God, like beautiful queen inside and out, her spirit. And so that next morning, something told me, Holy Spirit told me, was like, reach out to her and tell her. So at this point, no one else knows. But I reach out to her and ask her, like, hey, I really need you to keep me in prayer right now. Like, I have a situation that's time sensitive and I need you to pray with me. And again, I still didn't even tell her yet. But she, kind of pried for good reason, so she could really be laser focused when she prayed. Long story short, she said, can I call you? She called me. I told her what was going on. I shared that with her. And I knew her to be like someone of faith, someone I've reached out to before with like dreams and stuff. So I trusted her. We weren't the closest. We weren't like super close, but I trusted the God in her, and I trusted her faith level. I knew that it could exceed mine, because I was doing good on my own, but I was like, okay, now it's time to connect with someone. Pause. What's the code for that? Who do you have confidence in that if you needed something, they could be there for you? Who do you have confidence in that when it came to your life, your prayer life, a situation, who do you have in your life that you can reach out to on a moment's notice if you need to get a prayer to God? And the Bible says, wherever 2 or 3 touching and agree, he'll be in the midst. Who is that 2 or 3? Who is that one? Now, mind you, I've got amazing parents filled with faith, but I didn't want to put this on them. I was like, I'm not going to tell them this. They don't need this. Like, this is on me. I came here. This is on me. I'm not putting this on them, right? Even if they could pray. You call it pride, whatever you want. I wasn't doing that, because I cared more about their mental stability. I cared more about their spirit. I was like, I don't want to put this in their spirit. I want them to know everything is okay. So I reached out to her. Baby, when I say she prayed, baby, I'm talking about we was walking the floor. She was on the phone, but I was walking the floor. We was speaking in tongues. Baby, we was denouncing whatever spirits or anything that I had opened up the door to. If your friends can't pray with you like that, I don't know what you got. Because I thank God for that queen. And I'm not going to even call her name. I ain't going to put her out there like that. But she knows who she is. Baby, I thank God for that woman. Because she interceded for me as if she were me. That's something that I do for other people. I do a prayer call at 6 a.m. 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, called the Queen Council Prayer. And I've done this for almost 3 years now. But to be able to reach out to somebody else and they intercede and go to God on your behalf as if they were you, as if you were their sister, their mother, their friend, their daughter. Girl, just thinking about it, I'm like, baby, after that prayer, I was done. I was like, I know God heard her. I know. And you got to ask yourself, who are the people in my life that when I go to them, they not going to panic. They not going to make excuses for me. They not going to, try to sympathize, or they not going to condemn. They're just going to do what needs to be done. And sis understood the assignment, right? She understood the assignment. And we prayed, baby. We prayed. Now, after we tapped into the spiritual, she gave me some natural tools. She said, hey, get these vitamins. Whatever y'all do, find a way to see if they can get you these vitamins. And she gave me some very specific things to take. Mind you, I take vitamins already. So it's not like I don't take vitamins. I do. But she gave me some very specific things to get. And so immediately the head butler, we've been using WhatsApp. So you contact them anyway, just while you're staying there. That's how you communicate with your butlers. And so I was communicating with her. I was like, hey, now I got to give it out for the resort. I'm not going to call their name, but they were so amazing to me. Baby, I don't get this kind of customer service at restaurants, or the love that they had. They never treated me differently. They didn't treat me like I had COVID-19. They treated me like a human. They were so gentle. Sometimes people find you got something, they nasty, they rude, they're abrasive, aggressive. These are some of the kindest people I have ever met in my life who never knew me for the entire time. Whether it was the people bringing my food or just on the phone confirming my orders, it's like they had the love of Jesus. And I don't even know who they believe in, but their love, and it told me, I said, do I as a believer come across to other people like they do to me? The Bible says, by love and kindness have I drawn them. By this will all men know that you belong to me, the love you have one for another. And it even convicted me, because I'm like, do people feel this when they interact with me? Because the love I felt through these people, I felt like they were my family. They talked to me. They handled me with so much love before, after, and during this entire process. So shout out to them. And so in this journey, I reached out and I was like, okay, hey, can you get me these vitamins? She's like, absolutely. Those are the only things that I did have to pay for was my own, they call them medicine. But I was like, no, I don't take medicine. These are vitamins. She's like, okay, got your medicine. But it basically was a medicine. But they were vitamins. And so, baby, them vitamins was expensive. I'm talking about, you can get certain things from Walmart, like $5. Baby, this was like $70 a bottle. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I was like, hey, what? And that's another thing. If you don't take care of your body before you get sick, everything will always be expensive. And even though I did, but just think about if you're somebody who doesn't, you don't want to spend that money getting vitamins. You don't want to spend that money eating healthy foods and eating right and getting a trainer and doing these things regularly that cost an investment. Would you rather do those small investments or do these larger ones when something happens and you got to get surgery, go to the hospital for a lack of doing the right things? Now, everything doesn't fall in that category, but if things happen as a lack of your diet, as a lack of your lifestyle, right? What is it worth to you? Count up the cost. Everything is a price. What price do you want? I'd rather the price of doing preventative things up front than the price I'd have to pay if I didn't. So what's the code for that? Okay. Anyway, so she gets me these vitamins. I start taking them, y'all. We're like 33 minutes in this episode. So she gives me the vitamins. I start taking them. You know what I'm saying? I'm cautious. I'm reading it. I'm reading the ingredients. I'm like, let me make sure there ain't nothing in here because I can't afford to get no sicker than I am. But I take the vitamins. Now, let me tell you what my routine was like while I'm there, right? So while I'm there, if you were messaging me, texting me, I probably wasn't answering, period. Like, I wasn't in the headspace to carry on conversations. Like, I needed to be completely dialed in and focused, right? And to keep my spirit and keep my mind. And I even use that time for sacred space with God. Like, every morning, I'm big on worship anyway. Worship music, I love that. But every morning when I go to bed, it's worship music. It's thanksgiving. It's no longer just asking God, heal me, God, heal me. I'm giving thanks, because here's one thing that I believe no matter what. One thing that I kept saying. I still had the faith that said, sickness can't live in my body. I don't care if my body is untouchable to it. My faith is unshakable. Listen, I'm not a preacher, but y'all gonna have me preaching up in here. Listen, my body may not have been untouchable, but my faith was unshakable. I said, sickness can't live in this temple. COVID-19 can't live in this temple. I don't care if it's here. It can't take up residence. You may be visiting and passing through, but you can't live here. This body still belongs to God. This temple still belongs to God. That's where my confidence was. I didn't have to see it to believe it. And that's the problem with a lot of our faith. We got to see it before we believe it. Even though the word says that faith is the substance of the thing that you hope for. It is the evidence of what you cannot see. My faith is the evidence of the healing that I could not yet see. Where's your faith at? Where's your real confidence at? Do you have to see it to believe it? Are you doubting Thomas? Like, I'm not going to go there. But do you have to see it to believe? I didn't have to see the healing to know it belonged to me. I would remind myself and God of his word. Oh, by your stripes, I'm already healed. You were beaten for my transgressions. You were bruised for my iniquities. And the chastisement of our peace was upon you. And by your stripes, we were healed. It's already a finished work. I'm just waiting for the manifestation in this earth realm. You can tell, as my prayer partner, my faith was like, I may have been afraid, but the Bible says at what time I am afraid, I will trust in you. So I still had trust in God. My confidence was on a firm foundation. What's the code for that? What is the foundation of your confidence? Is it on things that you heard other people say so you believe because what they said? Or do you have a personal experience why you say, no, I know what I know. I believe what I believe. And there's no doctrine, no opinions that can come in and shake my faith. That's how I felt. I don't care what anybody else believes. Kudos, do what you do. I'm not here for that. But as for me, my faith comes from my experiences and my personal encounters with God. And this one only strengthened it. So where was I? Y'all get me worked up in here. Listen, my vein all right? All right, I'll do a little check. So listen, I was worshiping God during this time. Still working out, baby. I brought my, brought my Empower Fit glute bands with me, empowerfitlifestyle.com. You know what I'm saying? Brought my bands with me, was still working out, still exercising. Having my devotion time with God, no TV, just worship, cleaning up my little room, thanking God because I'm already healed. Thanking God because it's already a finished work, right? Thanking God. And anything that didn't, my God, so I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm trying to pass this test. You got any tips for passing this? You got any tips or whatever? So I told her, but outside of that, it was me and God. That's it. And so as the days went on, I want to pause there. I got to give a shout out to the Epic Nation, right? Marcus Y. Rozier is the lead pastor of the Epic Nation. They're like a church. They're a virtual church, but they were like virtual before virtual ever became a thing because they're on WhatsApp, right? And so when the community first launched, I had downloaded WhatsApp and joined or whatever. But up to this point, I haven't had WhatsApp on. I specifically turned on WhatsApp for Mexico. But while I was in WhatsApp, I would get their notifications. And it was nothing but positivity. It was nothing but they were sharing like videos of the day, songs of the day, encouraging each other. They were doing these daily prayer calls and they didn't even know I was there, but I was in that WhatsApp. They were feeding me just from their worship, just from their sharing, from their kindness. So shout out to the Epic Nation because they have no idea that during this time, that was like one of my lifelines. Like that was one of my sources of encouragement, right? So I stayed plugged in with them. I never responded to anything, never engaged, but I was there. Cold. Who's watching your life and you have no idea they're being impacted by how you're showing up every day? Who's watching your life and they're confident in what's on the inside of you, even if they never tell you? A lot of times we're looking for the likes and the shares and engagement to see who looking at it, who watched my stories. And you feel like if it's not a lot of people showing up or showing love, that you're not being impactful. You don't know what lives you're impacting, right? So they impacted my life in a time that I needed it most. And it's hard for me to just, like, everybody can't inspire me. Everybody can't encourage me. Everybody can't feed me. It is what it is. So I appreciate them for that. So shout out Epic Nation. Y'all need to look them up, right? Marcus Y. Rozier. And so that and music, like I create a whole new playlist. Let me share. So It's a song by this guy named Affy Douglas, AFY Douglas, and it was like Savior, and it was like the man you saved has come to worship you. So me, I would say the girl you saved. There's another person in ministry that I've heard them say these lyrics before, but I never knew what the song was. So I'm listening to that, just saying, God, the girl you healed has come to worship you. Before the healing came, I would sing this song. Another artist I found was Marizu, Marizu. I don't know who that is, but whoever, they had the song called I Know. Beautiful song. Another artist called Out Music. Such pure, just worship and encouragement. I would listen to these songs all day. And there's a song called Highs and Lows. I think like Elevation sings the bills called Highs and Lows. And those songs just ministered to my spirit over and over again. So it kept my mind calm, because the hardest thing was trying to keep my mind calm, right? Because if I knew if I could control my mind and my thoughts, I had a better chance of bringing healing to my body. But as long as my thoughts were out of sort, my cortisol levels up, as long as I'm stressing and I'm worrying, I'm allowing fear to take over and consume me, my body can't get the healing that it needs. I can't see the manifestation of what I'm praying for if I can't control my mind. What's the code for that? What are you doing? Again, it goes back to your mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. My heart knew that I was healed. So I needed my body to get in alignment with that, right? So that was my routine, child. Working out or whatever, still doing my push-ups. And I'm going to share some of this content if you follow me on Instagram at Destiny Inspire. I'm going to do some compilations because I started vlogging this journey. Listen, we are 41 minutes in. It's going to be a long one because I've been waiting a long time to get this out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm praying that my tools and the things that I learned is going to inspire and encourage somebody else, right? So trying to file notes, see what things I'm leaving out before I get there, right? So those some things I listened to, those things I did in quarantine. Oh, mind you, at this point, what's crazy is it wasn't until I took the test that I lost my smell and my taste. Like before then, again, I had all the symptoms. Like but it's like as soon as I found out, like that, well, no, I tell you that. That day I kind of couldn't taste that much anyway. Like before the test, I kind of couldn't. But it's like once I was diagnosed with it, like exactly, it's like it got worse. It got worse because had I known earlier that those things happened, I would have knew exactly what it was. But they were faint. They were there, but they weren't dominant. I don't know because I don't know what it was, but they weren't very dominant. I thought no big deal. I was like, probably because I don't feel I can't taste it as well. But it wasn't gone. My smell wasn't gone. It just was weakened. So during this time, y'all, they've got amazing food that they're bringing in. You can order anything you want. All of this amazing food, can't taste anything. And like my stomach and my body was so, I didn't even have an appetite. I literally would eat the food because I knew it was a key to my healing. I was still ordering my salmon. I was ordering my vegetables. I was ordering these things, these salads and my fruit, the things I eat anyway. I was ordering these things because I knew my body needed it, but I had no desire for food. And anybody knows me, I'm hungry every 2 to 3 hours because, I've done bodybuilding. So eating regularly, like small meals, 5-6 meals a day, that's typically what I did. So to not have an appetite was major. So I'm eating the food anyway, can't taste it. Don't even know when I'm full, y'all. I don't even know if my body is full yet. So I would guess. I'm like, okay, I probably didn't had enough right now because it's like I couldn't feel it. So as we're winding down, I want to get to, at this point, I've, designated my prayer calls for other people to get on and really do it. I talked to myself, like, hey, I just need you to kind of get somebody to, do the calls for me. I'm not in a place to really do it just yet. But by then, towards the end, I was like, I'm finna do it anyway. So they didn't know that I was doing those prayer calls literally from this tower in Mexico, quarantined with COVID-19, right? And so I would do them anyway. I didn't tell them, didn't say nothing about it, still showed all the way up, gave it my all, still encouraged, still did Faith Friday, still, went ahead and did it after that. And the sad part is I knew that I had events coming up and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be back in time. And even if I am, I'm not gonna go because I'm fresh out of this, right? So I literally had events coming up that next week. And so I'm like, dang, I hate to let them down. Like these things have been planned for months in advance. They're paid events. So this is money. But I was like, I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do, right? And so I still waited till the last possible minute just to make sure, but I couldn't do them. So, and I know they felt some kind of way and they were so gracious, but I really wanted to tell them, but I I let them know, like, I just can't, because I've been out of the country. It's not safe for me to come, which was the truth. It wasn't a lie. It was the truth. So anyway, y'all, I'm in the shower one of these days. At this point, days have passed. I was there almost 2 weeks or so. So days have passed. I'm in the shower. And in that shower time, I'm in worship per usual. But I tap into a different level of worship. I mean, I don't even remember what was playing or what I was listening to, but I tap into worship and I'm just thanking God just for who he is and thanking him for healing my body, thanking him for what he's done for me, just thanking God. And then I start singing this song, right? And this song isn't even, you know what's crazy, y'all? Right now, I just got a message. My prayer partner just messaged me. I haven't talked to her in days. Like literally. Sorry. So at this point, I start singing this song, Yes, right? And I don't know if you know old school, but it's like, my soul says yes. Yes, yes, my Lord, my soul says yes, 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 my Lord. And then back, I'm from the church. So in church time, the old church mother used to just bust out with this song, singing yes. Like if they don't sing yes, then the Holy Spirit ain't there. Just kidding. But I just start singing yes, like giving God a yes. I think initially I was singing the song, will your heart and soul say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? If I told you what I really need, would your heart and soul say yes? So just say, and then it's yes, yes. Y'all know the song. If don't, look it up. So I just start singing yes, like telling God yes. And then in that moment, not only do I start singing yes, I started telling God yes to whatever he wants me to do. I'm like, Lord, whatever you're trying to teach me or show me, whatever you are requiring of me, I give you a fresh yes. Because I've said yes before, but God, in this moment today, I am giving you another yes, a fresh yes. When's the last time you gave God a fresh yes, right? When is the last time you got away from the hustle and bustle of your problems and your life and what you want and your desires, and you told God yes to his will, to his way, what he wants from you and for you? So I'm saying yes. I'm giving God a yes, fresh yes. I start making some vows to God. I was like, I ain't made no vows in a minute, so let me make some vows. So I made some vows to God while I was in that shower. And I'm not going to tell you what they were, but they were some hard things that I enjoy, that I like. Like I started just making some vows, creating some new disciplines for myself. I'm like, at this point, I need to move heaven and I need to move it as expeditiously as possible. And that's not just why I did that, but I just felt led to. So I made some vows to God in that shower. There was nobody there but me and him, but I felt his presence so strongly and I just felt compelled to do it, right? So I did. I gave God my yes. I made my vows to him in that shower. So I started making vows to him in that shower. And all of a sudden, they have this amazing soap that I once could smell. But all of a sudden, I thought I had a whiff of the smell. And I was like, I'm tripping. Like, it's just my mind thinking that it smells it because I'm in here. So I got a whiff of it. And I was like, I'm tripping. Still in there singing yes. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I mean, I'm just, yes, Lord. That's it. That was the words I was giving him at that point. So I get out the shower. And at this point, I travel with blessed oil everywhere I go. I keep it in my purse, right? I always got some blessed oil. So while I was there, that's what I was using to just wipe my body down instead of my, cocoa butter. I was using the blessed oil, some anointing oil. And so I'm wiping my body down. And this oil has a very distinct smell that you cannot miss it. And I'm wiping it on my face. I'm anointing my head with oil. And I smell it. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, there's no way. There's no way. Because when I got in the shower, I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't smell anything. And at this point, when I got out of the shower, I smelled the smell of the oil so strong. That's a message. I smelled the smell of the oil. Don't get me started, y'all. This is not that, but I can't deny it. And I'm like, no way. I was like, no way. I was like, Lord, don't play with me. Don't play with me. Lord, come on now. Don't play with me like that. And so I take my finger and I dip it in the oil and I put it up to my nose. And sure enough, I can smell the oil. I take something else and I just start smelling things. And I'm like, I can smell. So then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to stop here. After that, I went and got the food that I had some food left over that I didn't finish. I opened up the tray, took a bite out of the food, right? Now, mind you, I was eating hot wings and stuff, couldn't taste it, couldn't smell it, nothing. I took a bite out of that food, and baby, let me tell you who could taste. I could taste. All I know is when I went in that shower, I could not taste, I could not smell. But all I know is when I got out of it, I could taste and I could smell. And listen, I just went into tears. Like, I went into tears praising God. I hit my prayer partner up and I was like, girl, y'all know how we do. Girl, listen, girl, you're not going to believe this. Baby, we praise God on that phone. Do you hear me? Now, at this point, I still don't know what the results are going to be. At this point, I've taken 2 tests already that have both been positive. I've taken 2 tests. And mind you, I'm thinking that there's a certain amount of days that I had to wait before I could, take another one to fly. And so my butler lady hit me up again. She's like, just checking on you. She checked on me usually every day. At this point, I hadn't really heard from her in a couple of days. But I said to myself, I was like, I'm going home tomorrow. I was like, I'm going home. That's just what I felt in my spirit, right? I was like, I'm going home. No, I didn't say tomorrow because I didn't know when I could go. But she messaged me and she's like, yeah, just checking on you, da-da-da-da. She was like, whenever you're ready, you can take another test. And I was like, I can? I was like, I don't have to wait until X amount. She was like, no. She was like, some people take the test every day till they get a negative result. I was like, run the test. And mind you, I have to pay for the test, though. Like, the test, I have to pay for every test I take. So I ain't just trying to take one every day. You know what I'm saying? Pause. While I was there, I'm going to get to that. So I have to take tests every day. She scheduled it. And so when that day came or whatever, she was like, we'll send them to your room. When that day came, I woke up, I called my friends. I was like, hey, you ready to go home? I was like, we're going home today. And I felt so strongly in my spirit. I didn't know mind you, this is still within that one. I didn't know anything, but I was just like, I'm going home. I was like, I've been here too long. I'm going home. Like, period. I don't care. I'm going home. Not against orders, but I just knew I'm going home. And so I woke up that morning. I just kept saying, I'm going home. Like, I'm going home. I was like, God, I thank you that I can finally go home. Right. So that morning when she told me that, now mind you, I was saying this before I spoke to her. That morning I woke up, I was just like, I feel like I'm going home today. Like, I just feel like, God, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going home. And that's when she messaged me right after that and was like, hey, you can take a test whenever you're ready. I was like, run it, schedule them now. She was like, now? I was like, schedule them right now. Tell them to come on. And so before I talked to her, though, I'd already started cleaning my room up. An act of faith. I don't know what's going on, but an act of faith said, start cleaning up. I had already started like sanitizing things again, cleaning them up. Baby, you normally take stuff with you from a trip. Like, you take your shampoos, your lotions. I didn't want nothing. I said, I don't want nothing that comes from here to come back with me. Everything is staying here. And I mean, I had excess everything, food, snacks, towels, lotion, shampoos. I was like, I don't want none of it. At this point, keep it all. I will leave my luggage here if I have to, because I'm going home. Point blank, period. Long story short, I was like, y'all, we going home. Like, get your stuff ready. Like, pack your stuff. I packed my suitcase before I ever had a test schedule. I started packing my suitcase saying, I'm going home. I'm going home. Mind you, I didn't even know I could take a test. I just knew in my spirit, I'm going home. Anyway, child, they send the people. When she come, I was just getting outside, and I put on one of my nice outfits that I couldn't wear. I was like, yeah, we getting dressed today. I just felt good about I was just like, I'm putting on my nice outfit today. You know what I'm saying? I had my hair, I kind of had a French braided the whole time. I was like, let me get the baby hairs going. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a little something. So sis come, I'm still doing my hair. I was like, when do I get the results back? She was like, in a couple minutes. I was like, oh, well, say less. Mind you, I've taken a PCR test, taken a rapid test, so we're taking another one. This is the third test that I've taken. So I'm like, I'm chilling at this point. I'm like, I'm just going to do my hair. You know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't have my bane and my signature swoop because the humidity there was crazy. So I'm French braiding it. Got a little, you know, a little grease, a little oil, whatever. I'm French braiding it just kind of around. And when I post the videos on Instagram, you'll see it. And so, usually I'm out in the balcony. So that morning I went out to the balcony and I can see the pool. I can see people out there. Like they can see me walking. When they're walking, they can see me. I can wave at people. I went out to that balcony and I yelled over that balcony, y'all, I'm going home today. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm like, how y'all doing? I'm like, I'm going home today. I was like, y'all enjoy yourselves though, but I got to go home. I was like, yeah, I've been here a long time. I'm going home. Out of my faith. I knew nothing about nothing, but all I knew is I'm going home. And I'm going to show y'all the video because I vlogged this. I told my vlog, and I'll show you the date. I said, I'm going home. I've been here too long. And I went to that balcony and I yelled it out. The people at the pool, the people walking, they probably looking like this girl crazy up here because I'm in the high tower. And I was like, I'm going home today. Like, period. Y'all have fun. Y'all do what y'all got to do, but I'm going home. I've been here long enough. So at this point, I'm packing up, I'm cleaning up, I go shower again, you know what I'm saying? And so they send the doctor, she takes another test, and I'm just waiting. She's like, oh, you better get the results now. It's like, okay, cool, you know? I'm waiting, my heart is just strengthened. I'm in Christ because no matter what, God, I still trust you. Baby, she said, it's negative. I was like, what you say? She's like, it's negative. Baby, I broke out in a praise right there. In front of her. I don't think she understood what was going on, but I was like, God, I thank you. I was like, I was like, God ain't never failed me. He ain't never failed me. And I'm just praising God. Cause I told her before, I said, yeah, let me know. Cause I got to go home today. And so I'm just praising God at this point. She's laughing at me because she don't really understand what's going on. I was like, listen, when you've had a divine encounter with God, like I have, you move a little different. You show up different. And so I'm just praising God. I'm like, God, I thank you because you ain't never failed me. And that's all I kept saying was, God ain't never failed me. He ain't never failed me. He ain't never failed me. That has been my mantra. He ain't never failed me. He never failed me. I don't care that my body was able to be touched. I don't care if my body was touchable. My faith was unshakable. Hands down. I said it cannot live in my body. It can't live here. You may be visiting or passing through, but you cannot live here. You got to go because I got to go home. I got work to do. My work is not done. You know what I'm saying? So this is the real story of what happened when I turned 30. Never shared this openly like this to people. I told my parents when I got back, when everything was over. I told them later. Mind you, I was still kind of nervous going. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if they're going to try to stop me again. I was like, we got to get out of here. So when the people came, they came and like fumigated, cleaned down the room. I had to put on this robe as they cleaned and aired it. And it was like, okay, we're having these festivities going on today. And we got this going on. I said, no, I'm going home. She was like, when's your float? I don't know. I'm about to book it right now. I'm booking flights today. So I literally booked a flight for that same day. Mind you, before that, I was trying to get a credit for my flight that I wasn't going to be able to take. Do you not know I had fraud that happened because somebody was pretending to be Delta and it was a fraudulent transaction. And so I paid some fraudulent company. They took it out of my account. So I was on the phone trying to talk to the real Delta and trying to talk to my bank and try to get it cleared up. All this happening while I'm already in Mexico. But I had to stay cool. I was like, God, you ain't never failed me. I'm not going to let this. So all this happened prior to this because that's when I had to cancel my original flight. But she was like, oh, we got this going on. It was some type of holiday there. Something was going on. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I got to go. Like, I got to go home. I booked the first flight out of there. The first flight out of there because I was going home today. And so the code of confidence. This is my candid, encouraging, and very uncomfortable conversation because I said I wasn't telling anybody. I wasn't going to tell anybody that I had it. I just wasn't. It was a no for me. It was like my healing. I was going to keep that to myself, but I felt that somebody needed to hear my story and my journey. Not because you may have it, but whatever is going on in your life, I need you to be confident in your faith. I need you to be confident in who you are. Be confident in your core. What is your core values? We'll do another episode on that. But what's that thing in your core, your centralmost part? So when trouble, trials, trauma comes to hit you and knock the wind out of you, what will it hit? It's going to hit my resilience. It's going to hit my courage to do it anyway. It's going to hit my faith in God. That's what's at my core. That's all I got. That's what I said. I don't know how people live without God. I know that it was nobody but God. Before I got in that shower, I couldn't smell. I couldn't taste. I couldn't do any of these things. I still didn't feel 100. But when I got out of that shower, after I had that encounter with God, you can't tell me God ain't real. I knew he was real before, but ain't nothing you can tell me about nothing. I don't care what evidence or proof or scientific data you have. I don't care. I know what God has done for me. I can't speak for nobody else. But as for me, as for the God that I serve, as for this purpose girl who prayed, get your hoodie. Come on, it's fall season. You know what I'm saying? Rep your sets. Purpose girls who pray, right? I stand by this. I'm not perfect by any means, y'all. I can be raggedy sometimes. But baby, I'm not perfect, but I try to keep my heart pure, and I'm purposed. And so I pray that my journey, that my candidness, that my uncomfortableness in this situation is going to encourage you to go after God. Go after your confidence. Go after knowing who you are. You are a queen. If you're a man, you are a king in this world. You have authority in your mouth. You have authority in your words. Your thoughts have power. The code was I had to take charge of my mind. I had to take charge of what I let come out of my mouth. I had to take charge and guard my heart, guard my gates. I had to guard my gates. I had to know who could I go to that could get a prayer through. Who could I go to that I could trust and depend on? Who could I go to? Who was in my life that had a level that exceeded my faith? Child, listen. What's your code for your confidence? That's what this podcast is about. It's not about me just coaching and teaching you stuff about confidence and self-esteem and telling you what you need to do. I'm sharing with you what I had to do. I'm sharing with you a vulnerable moment that I was afraid. But what time I am afraid, I will trust in God. I had to know, what are my codes? When I'm afraid, I'm going to trust God. What are my codes? By his stripes, I'm healed. What are my codes? Any two of you touch together and believe I'll be in the midst. What are my codes? My God ain't never failed me. And that's on who? Anyway, child, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I know it's long. Y'all may not get long ones like this again, but I felt compelled to share it. And then I needed some time to pass too. I needed it to be like kind of way done. But that's how I brought in 30. But after that, oh, baby, I took things to another level. I leveled up again. Here's the thing. I even posted some things while I was in the heat of it. I posted encouraging things to other people on my social media and just in general, even when I didn't have it. I still showed up and did what I do, then got right back off and just stayed before God. But anyway, it's hot. This is the Code of Confidence podcast, where we have candid, encouraging, and uncomfortable conversations about confidence. Subscribe if this blessed you. Share this with somebody. If you're looking on YouTube, subscribe, comment. If you're listening on the audio, give your testimonial of how this helped you. What did this do for you? Did this strengthen you in any way? Did this boost your confidence in who you are and your abilities to overcome your challenges? Because there's no monopoly on this. The same thing that I do, you have it on the inside of you. You just got to believe it and you got to tap into it. Sometimes those uncomfortable situations that we're placed in that brings out what's really on the inside of us. That was a situation that tested my faith to see, okay, where's your faith really at? You out here encouraging everybody else, inspiring the world. Can you do that for yourself now? Do you really believe what you're telling everybody else? And I had to stand on that. I couldn't stand on nothing else but what I believed in. That's my confidence in Christ and in myself, who he lives on the inside of me. So anyway, we're wrapping up this episode. I appreciate you guys. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. And let me know if you want my list of songs I was talking about that I listened to during that time and that I, kept me encouraged and kept me in worship and kept my heart and mind just really secure. And I'll share that with you as well. Listen, the Purpose Girls Pray hoodies are available, as well as the Queen mug and all the Queen merchandise, right? Go to my website that's inspired. Click the links below that you see. Subscribe. Share this with somebody. Let me know, how did this help you? It takes a lot to be vulnerable with people, right? This isn't easy for me. You know what I'm saying? I was keeping this one in. This wasn't easy. But I felt like I needed to share this, right? It doesn't make me less of a person. It doesn't make me less of a Christian, less of a believer, less of a person of faith because it happened to me. It can happen to anybody. But I know the power and the anointing that is going to come out of it. I know it's going to be even more intensified. Even now, I'm walking in that. So I love you. Praying for you guys. Walk in your power. Command every room, the soles of your feet. Walk into whether naturally or spiritually. This is Destiny Inspired, the Code of Confidence podcast. And I'm out of here. This has been sponsored by your Queen merch, DestinyInspired.com. Love you guys.